extra time.
The pitch here is expected to help the spinner, but no great amount of swing is expected here. So may I know your opinion on the effect of the pink ball not swinging that much?
I don't think that's a very accurate assessment. I think the pink ball does tend to swing a lot more than the normal red ball that we play with. We experienced that in the one match that we played in 2019 against Bangladesh. It's much more challenging to play with the new ball, with the pink ball, regardless of what pitch you're playing on. And especially in the evening, if say you're as a batting team, you're starting your innings in the evening under lights, then that 1.5 hours is very challenging. Yes, spin will come into play for sure, but I don't think the new ball and the fast bowlers can be ignored. The pink ball does bring them into the game till the ball is nice and shiny, and something that we are very well aware of, and we're preparing accordingly.
Just want to know, you have such a variety, varied bowling attack, very different personalities and characters in the bowling department. On one hand, you have something like Ashwin, quite an analyzer, and tends to think a lot and prepare a lot and analyze a lot. And then there's Ishant, who says that he's really not into it so much and he likes to. Can you talk about how you handle, how you deal with these kind of varied personalities, two different opposites in the sense?
Well, this is part of man management that you have to do as a captain. It's very important to understand that you need to bring the most aggressive option out of your bowlers at all times, and how to communicate to each individual is very important. What I speak to Ishant will probably bring the best out of him in terms of looking for wickets and bowling attacking lines. At the same time, we would discuss fields. Ash is very smart, very sharp, and he understands his field positioning and all those kind of things very well. But sometimes I do chip in as a batsman and say, if you were bowling to me, I would not like a fielder here or here or here. So he understands that quite quickly, and he's very smart about it. So I think we've been able to develop a good communication, a good understanding over the years, and that's one of the big reasons for the bowling unit bowling together, understanding the plans clearly, and having an aggressive mindset wherever we have played in the world. And we've been picking 20 wickets continuously, and something that we take a lot of pride in as bowlers. Individuals are different, but the goal remains common, which is to get the other team out as quickly as possible, and in order to do that, they bowl really well in partnerships and understand their strengths and their field positioning very well.
Virat, obviously you are going to play a test match under lights and with pink ball. So what are the adjustments that you have to do in your game?
Well, last time we experienced that the first session is probably the nicest to bat, when the sun's out and the ball doesn't do as much. But when it starts to get dark, especially during that twilight period, it gets very tricky. The light changes, it's difficult to sight the ball, and then under lights is like playing the first session in the morning. In a normal test match, the ball does tend to swing a lot. So I think it's a reversal of roles, and something that you need to adjust to quite quickly as batsmen. Even though you might be set in the afternoon, but you have to really, take guard again and start from scratch in the evening, and understand that you probably have to be a bit more disciplined, bit more disciplined than you were in the day when things were probably easier with the bat. So these are the major differences. And similarly with the bowlers, the plan in the afternoons was to bowl a nice and consistent line and length, and then in the evenings, when the situation allowed us to, we attacked a lot more. So I think the same kind of template will be useful in this game as well, and these are the few differences from a normal test match scenario that we experience.
I just wanted to ask you about the record of MSD you're gunning for as a captain to become the most successful test captain at home. Personally, what does that really mean to you, and how do you take things when a record approaches?
That record means nothing to me. Records are something that are looked at from an individual point of view, and that's not what we play sport for. Whether it's individual records as a batsman or whether it's the number of wins as a captain, I'm doing a responsibility to the best of my abilities and my potential, and an absolute commitment for the team for so many years, and I would continue to do so till the time I play this game. So I'm just fulfilling my responsibility. None of the records are meant to be forever. These are very fickle things which probably look great from the outside comparing to individuals, and that's something that people on the outside love to do all the time. But that really doesn't matter to any of us, to be very honest, because the mutual respect and understanding and camaraderie that you have as teammates, or your ex-captain is something that you hold really closely to your heart, and I understand the importance and the significance of that. So that is always going to be way more important in my life than these milestones or these records. As I said, I'm doing my responsibility to keep Indian cricket on top, and I will continue to do so. And that should be the mindset of everyone playing for the team, and whoever in few years down the line, whoever the next person who leads this team should take Indian cricket forward as well. So yeah, I don't really pay attention to any other records. I'm not even aware of them when I step onto the field, to be honest. I'm told afterwards.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.